Alrighty then, train simulator driver here. So you've brought the Arosa Linie, or Arosa Line. And you've been swearing a lot, because you can't get down the hill. Well, not the right way up anyway. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's not actually that hard. Anyway, they're telling us that it's busted. Good. Life's like that. I work in software. I know what it's like. Let's finish turning shit on. Our passengers have loaded up so we can shut the door. We've got to sit here for a bit longer though. If we don't, this signal will spat on us. So let's get rid of this brake. We're not going to need that anymore. That is the locomotive brake. We have the Fahren and Bremsen wheel, which is kind of like fucked and more fucked. But anyway, we won't go there. Fahren goes faster. Bremsen goes slower, kinda. This is the vacuum train brake, which is currently fully applied. And we have to wait for another 20 odd seconds before we can get out of here. But that's okay, because straight away we're going to go down that hole there, and we're going to get onto a 6% gradient, and I will show you what you need to do. 4, 3, 2, 1. Green signal. Except it still says it's red, but it's not. That's okay. Alright, release. Power. Lots of power. Well, not too much, because you'll see why in just a tick. Alright, so we are now moving. We're going to go back to the neutral setting, because we're about to go down a very steep hill. In fact, we are. We're already on 6%, so let's bring this up to 31% on the train brake. 31. It's got to be exactly 31. Alright, so we're letting our speed come up. We are cruising on the train brake at the moment, and if we left this on the whole trip down the way they tell us to do, it would melt. It would catch fire. That's okay, because we don't have to put up with the train brake. We're getting up to 25 now, so let's wind on the big wheel and bring it to minus 50. So this is putting on the dynamic brake on this locomotive, which simply dissipates the energy into a resistor bank up on the roof, so it's getting really hot up there, but that's okay, it's what it's for. Coming into our first curve, and look at that, we're the right way up. So the key to it is to keep the train tensioned out here. All those carriages need to be stretched apart a little bit, because if they're not, they bump into each other. And if they happen to bump into each other at the same time that you go round a corner, hey, wow, it's got the right pantograph up this time. Ooh, that never happens. Anyway, we're coming into a corner, and it's quite a tight one. If the carriages bump into you at the same time you're in a tight corner, and there's a change in grade, so you either go up or you go down, then you will come off the tracks. Why are we picking up speed? We shouldn't be picking up speed. Maybe that was a steeper bit. But anyway, we'll slow down now because we're in a 2.2. So it's all good. We are on 31 and we are on 50. And we're still going down the hill. So I like to follow the possum-born rule of train driving, which is, if you've never heard it before, shiny side up. Tragically, that fella didn't actually follow his own rule and isn't with us anymore, one of the great talents of rally driving. But anyway, when you look into a curve, you can see that it's made of lots of little straight bits. And I think it's a combination of the little straight bits being a bit strange, a bit gabby, and so this is a curve where you derail if you were just using the dynamic brake, because it's got a changing gradient in it. And the combination of the very loose couplers on the back. And that all works against you, and you end up upside down, or sideways, or just going down the mountain really quickly, or maybe ending up in this relatively picturesque river down here. I have to say, in a few places on that river, I have to hand it to Rivet, they've actually done quite a nice job on the water. Now, a lot of people are saying pretty nasty things about this route, but yep, if you look up there, up onto the distant hills, yeah, bit boring. But if you look down here, the detail's excellent. The overhead power is really nice, the trees near the track are really nice, the buildings near the track are really nice, the bridges are really nice, the infrastructure around the track is really nice. So, it's all heaps of fun. My grand plan's not working so well here, because we've sped up again. Why is this? Why is it different now, when I just re-recorded one that did it right? Anyway, we'll give it a little bit more break, it'll be happy. Doesn't matter. But you get the idea anyway. You can use this thing, but don't go full on. You need to use the train brake, as well as the dynamic brake. If you run with just the dynamic brake, which is the way you should be able to do this, you will have interesting consequences. So now we're slowing down too much. Yeah. Alright, let's bring it back down to... Let's sit with about... Let's just go back to our 31. That'll do. So you will have to adjust it a little bit here and there, because there's flat bits and there's downhill bits. There's even some uphill bits when you're going downhill. That's okay. But interestingly, I think the gradient meter is actually the right way round, so I wonder if it's tied to the pantograph being the right one. That's a little bit weird, but that's okay. Interestingly, this train's behaving differently when I chose the exact same service to record the previous version of this that I wasn't happy with, and I bailed because I wasn't loud enough and the train was too loud. It is a loud train. I've had to turn it down. And we're taking a different path round the corner this time too. That's interesting. That's okay. We'll handle it. Because you're still getting the idea. And looking at our signals here, this upright one means that we can actually leave, because yellow upright is for the right track and the other one is for the left track. Another important thing is you may have noticed those red boards just before the signal. Too bad if you didn't, they were there. Ooh, look, buffeting. You see that? That's what derails you. If that happens in a curve, you're stuffed. And that's okay. Wished I'd been outside the train when that happened. Because each time I've tried to record that happening outside the train, I've been defeated. That's okay. We are still travelling down the hill, and while the little meter up there says that we have 900 metres to go to the station, it's not quite true, but that's okay. We are coming to the town, it's not very far away. And you look out there at that scenery, that is really nice, and if you see it on a windy day, you should see what the trees do. I reckon they're the best trees in Train Sim World. They are nice. Let's pop out. Lighting effects are pretty good. I'm using engine.ini settings from the forums. There's an awful lot to choose from. I'm using a bit of a combination of other people's and a few that I've figured out. There are many posts to choose from, so pick something that works for you and works for your hardware, because we are all different. So, lots of people complaining about the distant scenery. It is a bit pox. Got to admit that, a little bit pox. But if you don't look at the distant scenery and you come back in here and you look at the scenery around the train and you go, that's pretty nice. I like that. I have to go release a little bit of brake or we're going to stop. That's okay, but I'm going to release this fella. Not the other one. Because if I let off on the other one, which should still be sitting on our 37, we can go off a little bit. Too much. That'll do. So we're starting to pick up some speed again now. We are coming around a very tight horseshoe corner coming into this town. So there's some really nice shit to look at. It's just cool. The only trouble is, because it's not rail driver compatible, you've got to keep your head down here. Alright, let's bring a bit of speed back down again on this one. Back down to 50. Someone's been logging stuff. Oh yeah, the mirrors aren't out. Where did I find that control before? Is it down there? No. 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 Ha! Mirrors are out. Not that they're very mirrory. That's a dovetail thing. Yeah, we're creeping up again. What have we got on here? 50. A little bit more on this one. Not too much. We're going to be stopping in a moment anyway. Coming into the town. Now I wish it was Raildriver compatible. And that seems to have been a bit of a communication issue, because when I asked Jasper on the Rivet YouTube channel, he said DTG do that. Unfortunately, it would appear they don't, because we don't have the Raildriver going. That's why you can't see it on the screen, but that's okay. In today's stream with Matt said, it's really easy to put it in, don't worry about it. So hopefully when they bring out the patch in April for the other issues that people have been reporting, and if you are experiencing issues, please report them. I have been, because it's the only way they get fixed. Can't guarantee they all will, but none will if you don't report them. But it's a pretty cool route. It looks nice, it plays nice, it works nicely if you get the way it wants to be played. So we're coming down now into this little town. I refuse to try and pronounce it because I will just butcher it. There it is over there. And there's a train waiting for us. How cool is that? Now the platforms and the passing sidings are really, really short. So you've got to make sure that you get in fairly close up to your stop marker. Otherwise, the other train can't go. So I'm just going to come back down here and apply a little bit more vacuum brake. But I'm leaving the big wheel alone. I'm going to do this with just the vacuum brake. Let's come off a bit. So we've slowed down enough for the points. Still got the big wheel on -50. Leaving it alone. Notice a little bit of buffeting there, but not significant. Its brakes are actually pretty good, I have to admit. We want to get as far as we can down this platform. So let's come right off the brake now. The dynamics will not stop it. And back on. And then we can open our doors. While we're waiting, bring this back to 0 because you're going to need it to move out. But anyway, that's it for this tutorial. As you can see, the method works. 50%. This one about 31, but you've got to rage up and down a little bit depending on the track you're running over, because it's not an even 6% down gradient. It's a bit up and down. So, if you like the video, if you find it helpful, give it a thumbs up, say hi in the comments, I always come back to you, and watch the stream, 9 o'clock Melbourne, Australia time on Sunday mornings. Hope to see you then. In the meantime, have a great weekend, and enjoy Arosa Linie. Bye.